There comes a point in every war when answering what's next becomes extremely difficult. Confusion fills the air, and it's accompanied by a sense of unprecedented fear. The Ukraine war has entered one such phase. There are more questions than answers, and the end game looks unclear. Do the countries want peace or an intensified warfare? We begin this story with the game of drones. It's a bloody game that Russia and Ukraine are playing. For the third day now, Russia's capital city has been struck by drones. This is what Moscow looks like. You have trains running, people walking near the Red Square, buying street food near the Kremlin. Moscow is a city of 13 million people, and for most of these people, life had been going on as usual without any interruption from the war until this week, when the war came home. Muscovites don't know how, where the next drone will strike. On Sunday, a drone struck Moscow's business district. Tuesday was deja vu. Another drone struck the same high-rise building, this one. It stands tall in Moscow's Moskva City business district, and now wearing visible signs of war damage.
We were going to see the tower where the explosion happened on Sunday, and people showed us where it happened. And we were walking there, and then suddenly there was this explosion, and we immediately ran. There were shards of glass, and then smoke rising. Then the security services started running that way. The shards were really big. They started collecting them up into a pile.
But you didn't see the UAV itself? How did it fly into the building?
Nobody saw it.
It wasn't a UAV, it was a drone. It flew into the building.
No one was hurt in the attack, but the drone managed to pierce into the city's spirit. It's confidence that Moscow is shielded from Ukrainian offensive. One tech company, in fact, has now asked its staff to not work from offices at night. Moscow's airport was shut down for some time. On the 30th of May, Ukrainian drones damaged several buildings in Moscow, a day after an oil refinery was set on fire in Krasnodar. On the 4th of July, flights were diverted from Moscow's Vnukovo International Airport. And in the last few months, in fact, Russian oil facilities have been targeted. Even airfields have been targeted. Business districts seem to have become the new target. Is the game of drones the new twist in this war? Or is this Ukraine's so far unsuccessful counteroffensive taking an unexpected turn? Moscow, mind you, is not too close to the Ukrainian border. It is some 450 kilometers away. So what kind of drones is Ukraine even using to strike the heart of Russia? The answer is every possible kind of drone that America is giving Kiev. America has spoiled Ukraine for choice. Kiev has received drones that are either still in testing or have only been sparingly used by the Americans. We are looking at Switchblade 600s. It is a next-generation long-range attack drone. This drone has gimbaled sensors, advanced precision flight control. Its maker, AeroVironment, describes this drone as an all-in-one man-portable solution with quick and easy deployment via tube launch and the capability to fly, track, and engage non-line of sight targets and armored vehicles with precision lethal effects. This drone can stay in the air for 40 minutes, by the way, and can carry up to 15 kgs of payload, strike targets within the range of 90 kilometers. And then you have the Jump 20s. They can stay in the air for up to 14 hours. Altius 600s can fly over 340 kilometers, can either be fitted with sensors or payloads. This drone is tube-launched and recoverable. There is also the Cyberlux K8s. Ukraine had previously also used Turkey-made Bayraktar TB2s. Ukraine has also been testing homemade kamikaze drones. First-person view drones are being fitted with explosives and deployed on test flights.
These are kamikaze drones, drones that attack the target by crashing into it. How do they differ from Mavic drones? Mavic drone is designed the way that it can hover. Pilot can leave the handle and the drone will still remain up in the air. This is not the case with the FPV, the first-person view drone. Pilot must always be in full control of the drone, of its flight. It can attack at speed, from height, in various ways. It does not hover. The cameras of almost all drones do not move downward, as is the case with Mavic. Pilot needs to plan the flight in advance.
The question is, how is Russia responding to all of this? It continues to shell Ukrainian cities, be it Donetsk or Zaporizhia. Russian drones too are flying in the skies. If Ukraine is hitting Russia's capital, Moscow is targeting Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv. 6 to 7 Russian drones hit the city last night. In fact, at least one person was injured.
Around 12:50 a.m., unmanned aerial vehicles, preliminary information that it was Shahid-type drones, attacked the city. We recorded 6 to 7 Shahids. Part of them were destroyed by air defense. Part of them hit the city's civilian infrastructure.
Will the game of drones take a bloodier turn is the immediate question, or will it trigger something much, much deadlier? Russia's former president, Dmitry Medvedev, says Moscow may be forced to use a nuclear weapon. Let me read out, in fact, what he posted on Telegram. Just imagine that the offensive, in tandem with NATO, succeeded and ended up with part of our land being taken away. Then we would have to use nuclear weapons by virtue of the stipulations of the Russian presidential decree. There is no doubt drones have become a cause of concern for Russia. Its no-limits partner, China, has set limits on the exports of long-range civilian drones. And why is that? Because drones are being used for non-peaceful reasons. And that is the reason China's Ministry of Commerce is citing. China, let me remind you here, is one of the world's leading drone exporters. It manufactures the DJI drones. But does Ukraine need Chinese civilian drones when it has an American Gravy boat? If you put that question to an American diplomat, he or she will likely point at the planned summit at Jeddah and say that Washington is on the side of peace, not drone warfare. Washington will say it is working on a diplomatic solution.
We do, of course, support this summit. We have long said that it is important that Ukraine be in the driver's seat when it comes to any potential diplomatic resolution to this war. It's important that countries that have not yet heard directly from Ukraine hear from Ukraine. So we are gratified that there will be countries that will be attending this summit to talk directly with Ukraine.
The U.S., by the way, has confirmed that U.S. officials will be attending the summit in Saudi Arabia, which is expected to take place over this weekend. We told you yesterday that invites have been sent to over 30 countries, including India. New Delhi is yet to announce which Indian official will be flying to Jeddah. The summit, according to reports, will focus on the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's peace plan. The details are unclear as of now. What we know for a fact is that Kiev has said, in as many words, that Russia will not be welcome at the meeting. The Kremlin says it will be following the meeting. But here's a question. As the countries gather in the Saudi port city to talk peace, the question that they must ask is whether the warring sides even want peace. Because one thing is clear at this point, you cannot have a peace summit or expect to draw up a peace plan without both the warring sides on the table. So what is it that Ukraine really wants?